I've got 5 tips and tricks for working in the timeline that you might have overlooked or maybe just didn't know about. If you're new to Premiere Pro, you are not gonna wanna miss this. Hey guys, I'm Patrick Fuller, and I don't know about you, but I love tips and tricks because typically it's something I can use right away, and these tips are no different. In fact, I'm hoping that along the way you're gonna pause this video, go test out the tip that I just shared, and then come back for the next one. So here we go, top 5 timeline tips for beginners. Tip number 1 is cleaning up your timeline. And what that means is just organizing your tracks and deleting tracks that aren't necessary. Let me show you what I mean. So here's a rough draft of my Adobe Audition video. And at first glance, it's not that bad. You can see there's kind of a track here that isn't being used. I've got a couple extra tracks up here that aren't being used. And I've got an adjustment layer on 2 different tracks. So when I say clean up your timeline, what I'm talking about is just organizing it with the same track information. Like if I pull this adjustment layer down here and this one down here, it's the same thing on the same track. It makes it a whole lot easier. And now if I want to delete my empty tracks, I don't have to go one by one. I can right click in the space over here, go to delete tracks. Don't worry. It's going to ask me for a dialog box. I'm going to say delete my empty video tracks and delete my empty audio tracks. Click OK. Now it just condenses it right down. It is much more organized. Tip number 2 is locking a track, and this is super helpful when using a background audio like something from Epidemic Sound or maybe Artlist.io. So let's say I've got this music track here. I'm going to drop this down to the very, very bottom. Let's blow that up so we can see it a little bit better. And what happens is as I go through and I want to edit some of these things and remove some of the pieces, it also cuts my track. And I don't really want to do that. I want to leave my track in place. I want to lock it. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to hit this lock button. And now, no matter what I do, I cannot edit or delete anything to do with that particular track. Lifesaver. Tip number 3 is setting a paste track. This becomes super, super helpful when you have something you want to reuse, maybe from a different timeline or a different project, and you want to copy and paste it into the new timeline that you're using, but you don't necessarily want it to overwrite what you already have. So let's say I've got this message pop up I want to use from a different timeline. I'm going to Command C or Control C to copy this. And if I was to paste this right on top, it would just paste right over what I already have. Or I would come back down here to the very, very, very end of the timeline. I would paste it, and then I would figure out which track I wanted it on and drag it up and drag it down and then drag it over. There's a better way. Instead, what I can do is I'm going to create a new track for the top and a new track for the audio. And I'm going to set that track as where I want it to be pasted by clicking it right here. For me, it's V5 and V4 respectively. Now, when I paste that, it still pastes over. So what gives? What I need to do is come back here and uncheck the V1 and the A1 and go ahead and repaste it, and voila. Tip 4 is a very clever way of duplicating a clip, whether it be video or audio. Let's say, for example, I wanted to take this particular B-roll clip and I wanted to duplicate it. I could Command C copy and then come over and do the paste track again and try to, right? It's complicated, and now I've got an extra audio track. It's just not as clean. Let me show you a really quick, fun, easy way to do this. I'm gonna select my clip and hold that Option key down, and I'm just going to drag my clip up. And now it creates a duplicate for me that I can do anything I want with. Super easy. Tip number 5 is actually a callback to the color basics video I did, but this time we're not going to apply it to a clip or even the master part of the clip. We're going to apply it to an adjustment layer. So how you do that is you're going to take your clip here, you're going to Command C or Control C to copy. Select your adjustment layer, go ahead and click inside there, Command or Control V to paste, and then don't forget to come back to your clip and either delete it or turn off that color. And the reason we use the adjustment layer is for 2 reasons. First, it makes it easy to toggle on and off for you. This makes your life a little bit easier from an editing perspective. 2, having the color on one adjustment layer across multiple clips just allows Premiere Pro to function easier. That's it for me. If you got something out of this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. check this out. On my phone, I can actually do one of these on my phone here. So cool. Let's go like a red. Crazy. That's like Christmas. It's like Christmas. Purple. All that stuff. How fun is that?